Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm joined by my two favoriteest Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey.
Hello.
And Terry T. Mantis.
Hello.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am well. How you doing, Terry?
I am not bad.
Before we get to the topics, because last time we were on last Wednesday, I did the topics first and chat second, and I was a bad boy because chat's more important. So let's go ahead and go through what we have on chat first tonight and do it the right way. Jen, you want to start?
Alrighty, let me get there. And I got a hammer, and there's a cannibalistic wizard, and there's a Zed, and we got a Keeper Dam, and a rotten corpse, and a Terry, and a WR Custon, and then we were followed up at the end by a green. Hi, guys.
Terry?
We have Rio Brayastastic, the alter ego of WR Corson. We have Green Badger, not outdoors. We have JBlizzard 427, aka JB. Casual, or Casual 1 rather. I think the Cannibalistic Wizard is everyone. Yes.
Everybody. Okay, well, we'll go through the topics real quick. I have a tendency to get into them a little too much when I first mention them. The three that I have listed for the show tonight are the dance. There's a dance video going around Twitter. A bunch of girls are dancing, and some guy made a comment, and it lit up all the feminists. So we'll cover that quickly.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Banned. Biden's last speech has him saying that he's gonna ban assault rifles. First thing he does when he gets reelected. Panera. Saw a tweet from a guy I follow on Twitter who said that he went to Panera to get a panini and a medium Coke, and it cost him $16. That's more than double the price that it used to be before the pandemic. It was a $7.99, and it's now $16 for him. And there's one final one that I didn't mention on the show before. I'm not even sure if I sent it to you. Richard Lewis passed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
he died at 76 from a heart attack. Turns out he had what's that disease Michael J. Fox has?
Parkinson's.
He's been battling Parkinson's for a couple of years. He hadn't been on TV since 2020. On the 12th season of
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm. He showed up for one episode of that. But yeah, he retired after that and said, I'm not doing any more stuff. And I'm just going to be writing. Yeah, so...
Parkinson's sounds like a terrible disease to have, from what I've heard about it.
It does. It really sounds awful. You just lose all ability to control yourself. That means everything. You can't talk. You can't write. You can't do your daily things, take a shower, go to the bathroom. Yeah. I mean, it just affects your entire life in such a negative way. It's awful. I mean, I can't think it's like the next worst thing to cancer.
I think for me, the worst would be something like Alzheimer's or anything to do with losing your memories.
Your mind.
Yeah. But shortly, not far behind Alzheimer's would be something like Parkinson's, where you can't control your body.
Yeah, those are flip side of the same coin, right? One side you lose your mind, the other side you lose your body. Yeah, that's got to be terrible. I mean, my dad died of dementia. Technically, he lost his mind too. So, but he just became quiet. It didn't really,
But it's such a sad thing, because to me, your mind is your entire identity. Like, who you are as a person is your mind, your personality is all contained in your brain.
Those kind of diseases, you're gone before you die.
Yeah.
It's really sad. There's dementia, and there's another one where sometimes you forget Alzheimer's. Is that Alzheimer's?
I believe Alzheimer's does have memory loss as a significant symptom. There's like a whole bunch of other things associated with it.
There was a movie called Grosse Pointe Blank, pretty popular movie.
I've actually seen it.
John Cusack.
John Cusack, yeah.
And he went to visit his mother, and she's talking to him. She's like, "Oh, it's nice to see you, Gunn." She hugs him and all that kind of stuff. And they decide that they're going to part ways, and he was going to leave. And as they're getting ready to leave, she turns to him and says, "Oh, you're a handsome fellow. What's your name?" And it hit me pretty hard when I saw that. I was like, that must be Alzheimer's, that you just sat down and had a conversation with him, and you've forgotten all of that, and you don't even know that it's your son. It's devastating.
I don't know if it was Alzheimer's, but there was a similar condition where there was this guy, and like his wife went to visit him. He's like, "Oh, love, oh, how are you?" And then she leaves the room, walks back, and he's like, "Love, oh, I haven't seen you."
Yeah.
Like, it was like he'd forgotten.
Never
that
happened.
He'd just spoken to her like 2 seconds ago. It was like, "Oh wow, my wife's here. I've missed her so much."
There's a commercial on TV, an old man sitting next to this pretty woman who's got, she's pregnant. And he looks over and he says, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." She says, "I'm just going through a tough time." And he says, "Is the pregnancy?" She says, "No, I'm having problems with my father. He's starting to become forgetful and all that kind of stuff." And they talk for like a full minute and a half. And then she says, "Well, it's time to go." She says, "Stand up, Dad." The whole time he didn't know he was talking to his daughter.
Yeah, that's kind of
yeah, it hits you, man. That kind of shit hits you.
Yeah.
It was a great twist, though. I mean, I had no idea that was coming.
Yeah,
that she was actually talking to the guy that she was upset about.
Yeah.
You know, kind of deal. So, well, on that bright and funny topic, there's a reason why I didn't put Richard's death in the notes for what we were planning on talking about, but I figured some people may not have seen it yet, so I just wanted to make
I didn't know he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't on Twitter yet, which shocked me, but
I found it, believe it or not, I found it on Fox News.
Okay.
Of all the places, I was like, whoa, what's this? It was nothing but political, and then this. I was like, wow, that's not what I expected to see. So a lot of stuff about Trump, of course, because Fox News,
of course.
even if you go to CNN, it's all about Trump too. So it really doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. One side's praising him left and right, and the other side's criticizing him left and right. And he's the only thing for everybody to talk about. So, but really the big thing that I wanted to talk about was this dance video. Of course, I don't have the ability with all the things I have on my machine to play videos. I don't know, we probably get banned if I did it anyway. But basically it's a rotoscope, guy walking around this kind of a dance crew in a circle. And there are people watching that are behind him as he walks around. And they're doing like a line dance, but it's a group. It's a circular group, filled in circle. And they're all doing basically the same dance. And this guy posted it on Twitter and said, people wonder why we don't like American women or Western women or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something along that line. And man, did that light everybody up. Every woman that I know on Twitter, had something to say. Yeah. Except for like, you know, you guys and that kind of stuff. But I mean, all the celebrity type people like
roaming millennial, Lauren Southern, people like that.
Yep. What's her face? Sydney Watson.
No Tip for Knowles got in on it as well.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody was in on this video. And I think I was like the only person defending the guy. Everybody else was just on his ass. And I was like, I kept on replying to people saying, so men are not allowed to have preferences.
Of course not. How long have you known that that's the case? This is not a surprise.
Nobody replied to me. Because what are you going to say to that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to tell you the truth, which is, no, of course they can't have preferences. Actually, because their preferences might not include me.
Yeah, actually, I lied. There was one person who I replied to who did reply back. You know who that was? I'll give you one guess who replied back.
No Sip for Knowles?
Weibo Jones.
Oh, Weibo, right.
She commented on it. And she says, yes, you do have the right to have preferences, and I have a right to criticize your preferences. Which I kind of had to stop there because that was fair enough. I was like, oh, well, okay, that's a good point. That's a good one. I felt like, you know, Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a good point. All right, you got me there. So I just let that drop. But yeah, even Weibo was on it, so that tells you something. But every woman every woman of note, I mean, just besides just our group kind of stuff, but every woman that I follow on YouTube or follow on Twitter or have any interactions with, everybody was in on this guy, and I was just like, and especially Sydney Watson. She says, so these women are fully clothed, but they're whores. And I says, being clothed or unclothed doesn't make you a whore. That's a bad argument. I said, I can get down to Philadelphia and have some woman suck me off for $10, fully clothed.
True.
He's still a whore.
Yes.
I didn't quite say it that forcefully.
Directly.
Yeah, but I got a little wired about it. So
no, I mean, to me, I personally don't care that the women were dancing. Like, let them dance. It's like, I wouldn't want to date any of them, but I wouldn't want to date anyone. So I mean, that's not saying much.
Yeah.
But no, my preferences would not include that, because I found it awkward and cringeworthy, and just. But I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. If that makes them happy, go for it.
I had two small issues about it. I don't mind you at dance, have a dance, enjoy yourself. I subscribe to a girl that her and her dance partner just do random dances. I like watching people dance, especially women. I think I made a comment on Twitter a couple of days ago that I've come to the conclusion that women's hips and their backbones are not connected. How the hell do you do that with your hips? You know, those bones are supposed to be fused together, but the hips seem to move randomly and have nothing to do with the rest of your body. And I find that fascinating. I just think guys can't do that. I'm sorry, guys just can't do that.
No.
So I don't have any problems with people dancing, but there's two things that bother me. I watched that video several times through, and there's a couple. Remember, everyone's doing the same dance, and not all of them are doing the same dance at the same time. It's the same dance, but some people might be, you know,
it wasn't
a couple
well choreographed.
No, it wasn't well choreographed. Some people were a couple of moves ahead, and some people were a couple of moves behind. But there was a move that bothered me a little bit. Maybe I'm a little prudish, but it doesn't seem like a wifely thing where, geez, I got to be careful because I'm on YouTube. How do I say this? Where they moved their knees very far apart.
Okay.
And then they tilted their hips forward and then pointed at their crotch.
Right. Yeah,
that seemed a little appropriate for public to me.
Yeah. I would agree that, because I didn't watch the dancing more than like a couple of seconds. It's like, okay,
I watched it all the way through several times.
No, I watched a few seconds. Like, okay, I get the idea. They're just dancing.
Because his comment didn't seem. The comment seemed a little rough for just a bunch of girls dancing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, there must be something that's bothering him. So I kept on watching till I saw that move by several of the women. I was like, maybe that's what bothered him, you know? And the second thing was, you couldn't really hear the actual music. You could hear tunes and somebody singing, but I couldn't make out the song or what was being said. But I swear there was a part of that where, I got to watch how I do this with YouTube, where they said, suck a D word 3 times in a row.
Okay. So I watched it on mute.
I was like,
because,
that's not appropriate either.
No. I watched it on mute because you actually have to choose to hear the audio when a video auto plays in Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't hear the music at all. I just watched a few seconds of the dancing. I thought, this is cringeworthy. But I didn't see anything obscene. But if they were doing
I didn't see it either.
With their crotch, then okay.
Yeah, it looked like the move they were making looked like the position of a man having sex with a woman from behind. That's what it looked like they were doing.
Yeah.
Well, that is over the line. I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah, if somebody threw in a twerk or something like a twerk, I wouldn't be surprised. But I admit I didn't see that part of the video. But if he was just calling out them, I could understand that part of it. And no, I'm not meaning to judge either. That is the reality is not every man finds that attractive, and women can be upset about that as much as they want, but that's just the truth of the matter. Not everybody finds it attractive.
Do you guys know who Ali Stuckey is?
Yep.
He's a Christian conservative.
Yep. Conservative.
Her take was, You're mad at women dancing with backpacks on?
What the hell's a
It has nothing to
backpack?
do with backpack. I know. I said, you are so out of touch. I literally typed in, you are so out of touch, and hit send. It's not
Yeah,
about
I
the
know.
backpacks.
She used to go by conservative millennial. That's why her Twitter handle
really?
is conservative millen.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. I just knew her by her name. The only person I didn't see chime in that I would have expected would be Liz Wheeler.
Okay, I don't know much about her.
I looked through her feed. She's another Christian conservative kind of woman, kind of like Annie Best, like a little prettier. But I expected her to chime in, so I went looking at her profile, looking at her Twitter feed, and she never said anything. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I've gotten smarter over the years, Hammer. I wait a little bit because like what you just pointed out, both Terry and I didn't know about the obscene stuff in that video.
It borders on obscene. I wouldn't say it's obscene. I would say more it's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate to do in public.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of
to do with dignity, really.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put out my thoughts. Like I get that twerking is a thing for some people, but to a lot of people it doesn't look attractive at all. Like every time I look at it, the only image I get out of it is something derogatory. It just is. Yeah. So I don't want to encourage it. Like I am a kid who grew up watching women being ballet or the ice skaters. It's not ballet, but it sure felt like it to me when I would watch them. It's a far stretch to compare the two to that shit. It just is.
To me, I don't like twerking. If someone twerks, I will not watch that video because I just don't find it appealing. I don't find it enjoyable to watch. So it's like, I'm not going to stop people from doing it. I'm like, you do what you want to do, but I don't like it.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of like people who like feet. You do you. Not everything has to be appealing for me. So that is how I view it. But like if I'd actually seen that in the video, I might have thought a little bit differently of it because I think part of my take with it was this is why all Western women are like that, and I'm like, okay, but not every woman in that video was doing that. That is why I would call him out a little bit on it. But like, if you're seeing obscene stuff, like nobody should force you to think that's attractive. It's not.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the dancing was not attractive. It was bad dancing.
Well, I mean, except for that one move, they were in time with the music. Maybe out of time with each other, but they were in time with the music. And I thought just the straight up dancing was fine. I had no problem with that. Enjoy yourself. Have some fucking fun. I'm fine with that. It was just that one thing that bothered me a little bit. And like I said, I don't want to come off as a prude here, but if they were in a studio and they were doing this, I'd be like, oh, this is cool. But out in the public, I'm going
to be honest. Given where the culture is right here, right now, being prudish is probably a good thing because there's a lot of degeneracy that is like celebrated and welcomed, and I don't think it should be.
Well, I'm questioning myself a little bit. Sorry, Jen. I'm questioning myself a little bit because I'm thinking to myself, what would 25-year-old me think?
Well, part of the reason I brought up the ballerina example wasn't just because, yes, I liked watching it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that clip recently of this. She's a Black lady who teaches ballet to younger kids, and they're all wanting to listen to Big Red's music. The ghetto Black lady. And
no idea who that is, but
it's all about pussy. It's all about shoving things in a pussy. That's all you need to know. And it's just like she was absolutely horrified. And I actually felt for her because a lot of that shit is being pushed on kids. It isn't just the LGBT. It is actually a lot of just inappropriate material being forced down kids' throats.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely disgusting. Like, these kids should actually be excited to see a ballerina and not just somebody twerking on a stage. Sorry. Like, there should be something more to it.
Funny thing is, these women who sing about stuff that's very sexual and degenerate and that kind of stuff. Yeah. If you look at their real personal lives, they're married with a couple of kids and they're very conservative. You know, they live a conservative life. They might be, oh, do this with a man, and oh, look at my this, and
Yeah.
but then you
'Cause
look at
that's
them.
what sells.
Yeah, if you look at them, like who's Rihanna and Jay-Z, right?
Yeah.
They're very, very conservative in their real life. Got just a house. They're not, you know, they're not having parties every night with people over and orgies and shit like that. They're very conservative in their real life. But this kind of stuff makes money.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
lots of it.
So they're going to say the things that get them on the Billboard charts.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lack of communication about that, I think. I don't think it's clear that that's not really being communicated, because I don't have a problem with adults listening to whatever crap they want to listen to. You know, lots of adults have weird kinks, but you keep that away from your kids.
Yeah.
You just do. You know, you send them to bed, you know, it's time for bed, kid. It's adult time. Yeah, you get to go to sleep. Have fun with that.
There's a movie called True Lies. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jamie Lee Curtis, yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis. And their daughter is starting to do things that are, he's like a detective, and her daughter's starting to do weird things like take money out of his dad's wallet and that kind of stuff. And he's talking to his partner, and he says, this is not how I taught her. And the partner says, you didn't teach her. You're not her parents. Madonna is her parents.
Sadly true.
Yeah.
In a lot of
A
ways.
very poignant part of the movie. I was like, holy shit, this is supposed to be a comedy. Dude, that was deep, you know? So I was like, and it's not wrong. He's right. All this media blitz that these kids get, they're listening to that. They don't give a shit about what their parents think.
It's like, wasn't going to bring up Dr. Phil, but I might as well, because he's made himself convenient. But the iPad thing is true too. The iPad thing, it's accelerated it, because, you know, even as a kid, I admit that maybe my brother and I were on the internet a little bit longer than we should have been, but even we had a limit, you know, because we had to share a computer. You know, back in the day, you had to share one computer with the whole fucking family, and if somebody was on the phone, good luck.
Yeah.
But
now everyone has the internet in their pocket all the time.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot more exposure to this stuff.
Did you pick up the phone? Put the phone down.
Those were good times.
I mean, one of the reasons I moved in with my dad when I did was because he didn't use the phone at all. So it was fine for me to use it as an internet connection.
There you go. Yeah, I actually had a second phone line put in the house.
So did we eventually.
Dial-up modems.
Yeah.
Everything came with Nordum.
Yeah, it came with Nordum. Yeah.
I used to really like the sound it made when it connected. You know that.
Yeah. Good times. Those were good times. But all the
I'm
same,
glad it's a lot faster now. But I did miss that sound when I switched to a non-dial-up.
This one doesn't make any noise. Where's all the noise?
Yeah,
I like the noise.
I did. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. So I mean, what bothered me was everyone seemed to sidestep the issue in this whole video. That's been. I mean, that video must be literally 20 times on my phone. Literally, just from people, you know, quoting it. And
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to miss what the point was. Is that they're just dancing and having fun. Well, if they were just dancing and not being sexual about it, you got me. I'm fine. Dance all you want. You know, I've seen plenty of dance groups out on the real world. I mean, look at those flash mobs, they used to call them, where someone would play a song and suddenly 30 people who just seem to be walking around, turn around, they all start doing the same dance.
That sounds annoying to me. Like, I would hate to be on the train and then that happens. It's like, oh,
well, yeah,
fuck.
if it was on a train, but this is usually in like out in a public square somewhere where it's just like, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like if I'm at if I'm at like a shopping center and that goes on, it's like, oh God, now I've got to avoid that section.
I think that's part of the deception of that video too, though, Hammer, is like I said, it's so easy to just think that they're just dancing.
Yeah.
I really would have to rewatch that video, slow it down a little bit, and just actually look at it with eyes with no thinking of the colors, because like that's what I was seeing, just like women dressed up in colorful outfits, dressing, and then this is why Western women are bad. I'm like, what?
Where'd that come from, right?
Right. So like sometimes you have to actually stop and look back at a video and actually think of it without like the admittedly, women do come to the emotions first, but yeah, look at it again and look at it with like, yeah, okay, yeah, I saw that. No, that wasn't cool. Yeah, that was a little bit out of line. Because
I was talking to Six about this because he made a comment about the music, and I said, you know who that is? And he said, no, I don't know who it is. But I was trying to find out what the song was, because I swear to God, I heard in rhythmic tone, suck-a-dee, 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 in the background. I was like, was that what I heard? Is that part of the song? Because it was the audio is so terrible. You can tell it's music, but you really can't tell too much except for the beat, what it is. I couldn't understand any of the words, but that's what it sounded like to me. So I don't know. Maybe I'm hearing stuff. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. But it has been very one-sided in its reception. Guy says, I don't really like this, and everyone's just on the guy like crazy. I bet he just, turned off his Twitter. Because if I'm seeing 20 instances of it, you can imagine what this guy's saying.
I'm going to quickly mute, and I'm going to figure out what song is playing. So I'll be back in a sec.
Sure.
So, and like I said, the only person who came back at me was Weibo. And she came back at me with something legitimate that I had to just keep my mouth shut because she was right.
But no, that's why I said before that I tend to just kind of wait on certain topics, just because you never know when more information comes out.
Right.
Like you see an image and you think you've seen everything, but then it's honestly stuff like what happened up in the trucker convoy that convinced me to just do that. Just hold off and don't rush to anything. Don't let your emotions cloud your mind. And yeah, I admit I thought the outfits were cute. Like some of them were cute.
Came back saying the song is Mr. Weatherall by Young Hub City.
And I'll give them a little bit of credit. I was waiting for the fat ladies to get all mad because they were all skinny too.
Mr. Weatherall featuring Big Zoe, and it's by Young Hub City, classified as hip hop / rap. And
can you find the lyrics?
Let's have a look.
I don't mean to stereotype, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, when you start hearing rap names, you're like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't hear that, but that's what it sounded like to me. Oh.
It's just rap of today is not at all like the rap of like my youth, and I didn't listen to a lot of rap. Like I maybe listened to the one song that Snoop Dogg made for white people. It was a good song, and I was like, I'm good.
What'd you find, Terry?
Everything that I found has looked like it's going to be a lyrics site, and then it just says lyrics not available. So I haven't found anywhere that actually lists them yet.
That tells me a lot, though. If they're harder to find, that usually says a lot.
Yeah, if they're R-rated or something.
So yeah, I can't tell you what the lyrics are because when I click on it, it just says lyrics not available.
Let me see if I can get something going here.
It is yet another one of those things that I push back on the feminists for. Like, I know that they think that this is all body positive stuff, but like what is body positive about being a whore or over sexualizing yourself or using your own body as a tool like that?
That's a big thing on the Whatever podcast, how it's not really empowering. What was the name of the song again?
Mr. Weatherall featuring Big Zoe.
Like, don't get me wrong. I do agree with that part of the old feminist that was like, a woman shouldn't be treated like a whore because she has sex with more than one man. Yeah, women are human too. We get lonely too. Well, you shouldn't be treated like shit because of that. But honestly, I treat men like they're whores if they have a list too. Like, if you've got a long list of partners, I do question you because I wonder if there's something wrong with you.
I think promiscuity is bad from both sides, but I do think it's worse with women. only because a promiscuous man has a much more difficult time getting sex. So it's at least an accomplishment that he convinced that many women to let him have sex with them. Whereas a
Song was called
promiscuous
Young
woman,
Hub City.
yeah, a promiscuous woman just has to say yes to the offers that she receives. So I do judge women more harshly for promiscuity because any woman can be promiscuous. Not every man can.
This is true. Young Hub City, lots of videos. Lots of videos, more videos. Jesus.
Yeah.
But given that it's a rap song, I would not be surprised if "Suck My Dick" is a repeated line in the lyrics.
Not at all. Not even. Like I said, the rap of my youth is not at all like, yes, I remember when it started to creep in that it was like sexualized more and more and more, but there used to be a story behind rap. Like they were kind of talking about what was going on with them. Most music is about somebody talking about something they're relating to, you know, with other members of their community. So like there's stories to a lot of rap, but a lot of this stuff really is just degenerate. Like, oh, you know,
oh yeah, oh god, yeah.
And I don't judge people for wanting to make money or wanting to be an artist or having talent. I respect that 100% because some of them do have talent.
There are exactly two good raps in existence. One is a list of Pokemon names. The other is about the characters in Donkey Kong 64. Those are the two good raps.
But yeah, I don't think what they've been putting out for the last like 20 years has ever been really good for kids to listen to.
No.
And yeah, I'm kind of down the board. You shouldn't show anything inappropriate to kids. There should be a line of common sense drawn.
Yeah, I mean, you would think.
And no, not every scene is something that you're seeing. You should probably hold off on jumping into conclusions. That's a wise thing I've learned. I'm glad I did. But no, I don't think women shouldn't be judged for dancing. I don't think that's what that guy was doing. I'm glad it was pointed out.
I mean, dance as much as you want. We are not living in Footloose. You are allowed to dance.
But I do want to make bets on how long it takes for that video to make its rounds all the way to the. Yeah, I made a joke about the fat community reading about it because they're all skinny.
And
I shouldn't have said that.
He has no clue what video we're talking about. I'll try and find. I'll try and find you on Twitter, and I'll send it to you.
Cryptic says he judges women because they have powerful leg muscles, as you should, because they'll break you somehow.
Yeah, I can't find anything about this.
Okay, I just sent the video to Green Badger so he can find out what we're discussing.
It can't be the name. Young Hub City has to be one of the singers featuring
maybe
Mr. Weatherall. There has to be, because when I look, all I see is other songs by Young Hub City.
Oh, it accidentally unmuted there. So yeah, I get Mr. Weatherall featuring Big Zoe, and it just says Young Hub City is the artist.
We don't really know what the actual song title is.
I'm guessing it's Mr. Weatherall because it's listed as Mr. Weatherall featuring Big Zoe. So that would be the title of the song is Mr. Weatherall, and then Young Hub City would be the artist. Because I'm looking at like. The previous song that I used, Shazam, which is how I figured out what song it was, it said 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. So this is Mr. Weatherall by Young Hub City.
Mr. Weatherall lyrics.
Yeah, and I couldn't find the actual lyrics.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing what you're seeing. Everything I clicked on says lyrics not available.
Yeah. So,
or the sites are not really for lyrics.
You know, Every once in a while, I love watching how YouTube likes to hide numbers.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because I was watching it on Kefki's stream.
Mhm.
You know, she's doing a pretty decent job on her stuff, possibly. And she doesn't want to hear me say this because she gives me the stink eye every time. But she's
Yeah.
adorable as shit, and her animations are awesome. Like she, you know, I'll point out a character to her, and she'll sit there and make one in the Discord right away. And I'm like, okay, listen, she's got something going. But I'm watching her stream, and like, no, they were hiding numbers. I'm like, YouTube. She doesn't talk anything about politics. She's the nicest person out there. She's just a nice ferret.
Mhm.
She has no ties to this part of the show, okay? Just hold us accountable. Don't hold her accountable, okay? But that's it. That's all I had to say. It's stuff you can't fix, but I notice it. You know?
This video is a Mardi Gras video.
Ah.
There's a
Ooh.
there's a newspaper called The Advocate. It says Young Hub City has released a new song called Mr. Weatherall, cheering local videographer John Weatherall III, and has a high energy videos on location. So this is some kind of.
See, back when I was a kid, I wanted to see that. Now that I'm old, I'm like, no, I'm good.
If they were dancing at Mardi Gras, that does change the context a fair bit.
Yeah. Like it looks like an awesome party, but I'm like, I've heard stories. Yeah, I've heard stories. I think everyone's heard stories.
Yeah, Scott, Louisiana Mardi Gras is where that took place. Has 3.8 million likes.
Ooh.
TikTok video.
And Cannibalistic Wizard says that Kefki is better at hosting than Adam because she can make the volume good. And so I have been fortunate because I'm on the other side of the stream, so I'm like in the Discord call with Adam, so it sounds fine to me. But we do get a lot of complaints about the audio when Adam's hosting.
I'll give Kefki a little bit of leeway. She does have Blue helping her out a little bit. Like she knows what she's doing, but he steps in every once in a while to help her out with that. So
I've heard the name, but I still don't really know who Blue is. I know it's Kefki's friend. That's the extent of it.
I introduced the two. I was like,
okay.
I liked his art and I liked her art, and he used to make art for Blind Girl. And I was like, well, Blind Girl's not alive anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you know, Kefki would love his art. And so I challenged him to a duel with her. And so they started sending ferret pictures back and forth. And
I mean, yeah. That sounds cool. I'm glad that they've, found each other and can share their ferret art.
He's also, one of these days, I do want to hit him up with either you or Polly, because he's absolutely into the OBS. So he likes setups and he loves learning more about that stuff, and he's really good at it. He is really good at it. I have to confess, I've poached him for help a lot of times because I'm an old boomer. He fixed my YouTube up so it doesn't look like shit.
Chris is saying Box is a wonderful kid. I'm assuming Box is Blue. I'm guessing that's a nickname for him.
Yeah, his initial channel is Blue or Box.
Okay, and he's a good and brilliant young man. Well, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about this guy, so sounds good.
Yeah, but no, I just wanted to call out YouTube for doing that thing where they hide numbers. I'm like, fuck them. Yeah,
I have. I don't actually watch Kefki's streams because they're on at inopportune times for me, unfortunately. But I have noticed that this Blue person is a regular feature on them.
Now I should share some of the better parts, but I'm not internet savvy. I'm surrounded by people who know when to clip things so that they can share better parts of a stream, and I just had a. Yeah, I had a buddy give me a sound pad, and would you think I'd use it? God, no. God, no.
I find sound pads fairly annoying most of the time. Like, I think they just get in the way of the conversation.
The truth is he's probably going to have to step by step instruct me on how to use it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm glad that you don't know, because I don't like sound pads interrupting stream.
What kind of sound is it? An Elgato that you're using?
The one he got me was let me just pull things down because it's on my. It's just
if done right and the sound clips are very, very, very short, then they're great. But a lot of people who use soundboards have sounds that last for like 30 seconds. It's like, dude, we sit here and listen to 30-second sound clip. Get out of here.
I just don't like them at all, because I find they disrupt the natural flow of the conversation.
See, that's why I'd rather learn how to use it. Is exactly that, because I wouldn't want to use it to interrupt. Like, it's one thing to save a clip of something on a YouTube stream, because I would do that for my own stuff, but
no, see, I think they work well in like scripted videos, or not even scripted, but like YouTube videos, not live streams. So there's a channel, Better Bachelor, and he uses a soundboard in his videos, but he's the only one talking. It's not like he's breaking up the flow of a conversation. He's structured his videos to incorporate them, so it's okay. But if you and I were just talking and then randomly I hear Greta go, "How dare you?" That's not funny. That's annoying.
The Matt uses it on Beauty and the Beta, or Matt and Blonde show, but he uses it kind of in the background, like somebody's sitting behind him. It doesn't go over top of him. But if you listen, like, and they're very, very short. Like he has one of Ben Shapiro saying "asshat."
Yeah.
That's not a very long clip. It's less than a second. It's like 0.6 seconds or something like that. So he'll be talking and someone will say, "Yeah, but that's better than Ben Shapiro." And he'll say, "Well, Ben Shapiro," in the background here will say "asshat." Like Ben's back there, I do have them. I do have these sound clips from my machine too. I can do the same thing that these other guys do, but I don't do it. I don't think it's appropriate for our stream. But that was Mal from Firefly saying, "I aim to misbehave."
Yeah, but like I don't know. I think if you and I are just casually discussing something, and then all of a sudden you push a button and emotional damage.
See, I would find that annoying.
As much as I love that clip, it would break the flow of the conversation unnecessarily.
It has to fit. Like whenever somebody makes a donation on Matt and Blonde, that's over $100. He plays a clip that's Trump saying, "We love you very much."
Donation notifications, I'm willing to make an exception for, because you do want to acknowledge those who are kind enough to give you money.
He used to use what's the old guy that is a socialist in the American
Bernie
Justice?
Sanders?
Bernie Sanders. He used to use Bernie Sanders, "I will not be niggardly." That used to be his old one. And I don't know if he got complaints or what happened there, but he switched to the Trump one instead.
Okay.
So
I'm a bit more forgiving of
they're
like
funny.
if it's a donation.
But when he uses them, they fit. It's not like he just makes a random thing out of nowhere. They fit the show because he's used them for specific things. If he gets a dono, he uses this. If he gets this, he uses that. So you kind of know it's coming.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind, like when Camel would say, "All rise for the Soviet anthem," or something like that, and then play the Soviet anthem. That kind of is fine, because he's not interrupting anyone. He's the one talking, and he's
leading into it.
Funny. Yeah,
he's leading into it, which is kind of what I would use it for. Like, when
I'm just saying, if we're just casually discussing something, and then all of a sudden you're playing sound clips at me, that's not.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to do that.
I think the big key for me is it has to fit the circumstance. So when he's done doing super chats, he wants to get back in the news. You'll hear Ben's what the hell's her name? Psaki? What was her name? Jen Psaki?
Jen Psaki.
Yeah, you'll hear her in the background. I'll have to get back to you on that. That kind of little things like that are kind of like fit what he's doing. He's stopping the chats and he's going back to the show. In other words, we have to circle back. Yeah,
that works, because he's saying this is our transition from one segment to the next. That's totally fine.
That's what I mean. It kind of fits. That's the only thing I could say in his defense.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the whatever podcast, it's shit. It's awful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like, let me put it to you this way. I think the only thing I could see me doing with the sound pad that might be annoying is I know a couple people with cats, not just Cryptic. I know a couple people with cats. And I noticed right away in Discord, they have their own little inbuilt sound pad with basic sounds. You play the cricket and you know that it's either a dog or a cat in the background going a little bit mad. So I would do something like that. Not necessarily crickets, because like that kind of stuff comes automatically with the sound pad. But I was looking up cat sounds. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that I could see myself doing that. You know, just, you know, I'm hanging out with Spoonie. I love Spoonie, but I know she's got a cat, and her cat absolutely gets jealous whenever she hears other cats. Meow, meow. I do that, you know, but that's as far as I go as far as trolling, because I agree with Terry. Like, there's times where some people use the sound pad, and I'm like, are you using that because you're just happy to have a toy, or are you using that because it's supposed to add an effect? Because I like the tool for what it's for. Like, if it's supposed to add a feature to what you're doing, that's why I'm not hesitant with it. I just know I'm going to be like, hey, Blue, can you show me this? Hey, Blue, can you show me this?
I think if it's a single person talking, then they can incorporate the soundboard fairly effectively. Like I said, Better Bachelor, he does a decent job where, like, he'll be talking about basically a gold digger, and he'll play the cha-ching sound effect to accompany the discussion.
That's funny.
It's like, that makes sense because he's not disrupting anything. It's his own stream of thought
it's a background thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Undoomed used to use himself as a sounder. That fucking moron.
Yeah.
That was his little sounder, and it's a sounder of him. You know, it's him. That fit perfectly as well. But you never see it on other people. Like, you never see it in a bearing video.
Yeah.
You know, he never uses that shit. So, I mean, if it fits, it's fine. But especially on podcasts, I think you're right, though. If a podcast, like Fresh and Fit, they didn't do it right either. Sometimes, I guess it's because the number of people, because someone's always talking, so you're always playing it over somebody. But Matt and Blonde, it's just two. Right. So you can fit it in because there's time, you know.
I didn't watch a lot of Fresh and Fit, but the one I remember is something about Don DeMarco. And then, like, that's the thing everyone requests is that sound effect for some reason.
Like I said, I've been looking to add him to the show, but I've only found that one, I Aim to Misbehave. And I've never found a place where I could play it. You know, unless I was going to say something on YouTube that could get us in trouble. You know, I Aim to Misbehave. That could kind of fit, but not really. I just, our show doesn't really lend itself to that kind of stuff.
No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, if you wanted to use one in like the opening or closing segments where like it's only you talking, where you're introducing the topics or you're reading your outro, you could incorporate sound effects into that. It might be a little annoying, but it wouldn't be as disruptive as in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah, that's really not worth my time and effort.
See, my biggest issue with the sound pad, and I'll own that this one will have me not watching a channel anymore, is if they use it to try to win in a debate. I kind of view it as the same kind of low-key method as just using insults all the time. Like, you're just interrupting to interrupt because you don't want to hear out what the other person is saying. You know, it's like over-talking them or talking louder or not letting them finish. Like, I'll admit that I talk a lot, but no, over the year and a half that I've tried to work with the both of you, I've gotten so good at listening for you, Terry.
I have bad news for everyone.
Ooh.
I didn't get my wish. One person voted for Jack Gunsky's option.
I said 0%. No, it says 10%. I didn't see the one. Never mind.
I was hoping it would be 0, but one person voted for the tubes. My dreams have been thwarted, but I will settle for it taking equal last. That is acceptable.
The funny thing about this is there are 3 new songs in that listing and 1 old song that I've had sitting out there and have had on other shows. And the one that won was the one that's been out there before.
Yeah.
The 3 new ones didn't get on the one.
Living on a Prayer is probably Bon Jovi's biggest hit.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the three of them are all really, really good songs. So it's a kind of a
Yes.
toss-up for me. But if I were to have voted, I would have gone with Wanted Dead or Alive. I really
Yeah,
prefer that song.
that's a great song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not on the poll, but I would have said something like "It's My Life" or "Bad Medicine." Like, there's lots of really cool songs that Bon Jovi did. Oh, and Green Badger is the one who voted for the Tubes.
It actually is a good song. It is a good song. It's like the only hit the Tubes had, but it actually is a good song, so.
It's also the one that Jack Gunski nominated, so I have to hate on it. It's the rules.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that. Thanks for everybody who voted. Thanks for not everybody voting for this different things to the point where we have a lockup of everybody voting. 10% for this, 10% for that, 10% for that.
Yeah. I do think it's impressive that they didn't try and make it a tie. They didn't try and give us a 4-way tie. They actually no, we want Living on a Prayer 60%.
I'm just surprised Living on a Prayer got it because, like I said, we've had it in the show before. I don't know if it's ever been played in the show. It could have been up against people songs that were better that people picked. I can't keep it straight anymore because we've been doing this for what, close to a year.
Yeah,
now?
It's been a while.
So it's hard for me to remember, 7 months ago what got picked. I have it listed. I can go through I'm not going to waste my time though.
Yeah, that it's not worth it.
No, but it just makes me laugh that the one song that's been on the list at least twice before. I think it's been on the list twice. It's the one that got picked. It's like, oh, well, all that work I did was really for nothing when it comes down to it. But,
well, no, it wasn't for nothing. You didn't know which one was going to win.
It is kind of funny that the one I'd had forever was the one that won. It's kind of silly.
But I do think Living on a Prayer is kind of like their signature song. I think that's one of the most immediately recognizable and associated with Bon Jovi.
I guess the reason why Wanted Dead or Alive sticks with me more is because I used to watch Deadliest Catch.
Okay.
And that was their intro song for every episode.
No, I mean, it's a fantastic song. Absolutely.
When I think of Bon Jovi,
I like all three of them.
Yeah, when I think of Bon Jovi, that's the first one that comes to mind. But you're right, as far as being a bigger hits, I think when I was looking through the list of Bon Jovi songs, which ones were over the top 10, they had to be 10 or better. I remember I was pretty sure that Living on a Prayer was a number one.
One of my favorite moments from a sitcom is this couple had been arguing, and so they decided to write messages to each other, and one's reading it out and she's going, "We've got to hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's a love. That's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot." And then it turns out that the other partner wrote the exact same thing.
They both wrote the same lyrics. That's funny. I don't remember what movie it was, but guy was telling a girl that he loved her along the same lines, and she stopped him halfway through and she says, "Are you quoting a song to me?" He's like, no, I wasn't. But he was. We didn't really get to anything else besides Richard Lewis and the dance. We have band, and I mentioned Panera Bread. We didn't really discuss either one, but the band thing is Biden says if he gets reelected, he's going to ban assault rifles. And of course, looking at the tweet, it was followed immediately by "No, you're not."
Yeah. Well, I can cover both in 2 seconds. Don't ban guns and inflation sucks.
Yep. That's what it comes down to. The thing is, I was surprised to hear Panera Bread because they're not exactly, all they had was sandwiches. They're like a less capable version of Subway. If you go out there and look at Subway, the most expensive sub on Subway is like $9. You know what I'm saying?
I'm jelly. I'm so jelly. Don't let yourself
get in Canada?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh.
What is a Canadian Subway sandwich?
Let me look it up. I will go to skip the dishes.
The way I found the prices was I went to DoorDash and I selected Subway and it gave me all the prices. Yeah. But AU and dollars are going to be a different number. You guys are like 15% more expensive than us, or 20%.
Okay, so I'll be fair. The most basic Canuck Classic, which is the 6-inch, is $8.99. Yeah. Yeah, it's Maplewood smoked bacon, which would probably be really good, and deli style ham made with Canadian farm raised pork, which is the ham. Okay, I don't know why they talked about that. And then it's obviously
cool.
Yeah, but it's a 6-inch sandwich for $9.
Yeah.
That is so cool that Subway in Canada has different food items than Subway in America. We don't have a Canuck Classic. I'll tell you that right now.
What kind of Subway sandwich are we looking to compare prices on?
Well, can we find one that all three of us have? Do
Okay,
you guys have like a turkey sub?
Oh yeah, there's a turkey. Let me just see if I can find a.
We all have turkey sub, right? Everybody loves turkey.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'll see if I can find turkey on here.
So I know they have just regular cold cuts.
No turkey for me.
No turkey, really?
It's not. Oh, here we go. No, I found it. I tried Control F and it didn't work, but I just scrolled down and it is there. Okay. Turkey is $10.10.
For what size?
Let's see. For the 6-inch.
Yeah.
All right. Subway.
I only point that out because the footlong being $10 would be nice.
The footlong would be $15.30.
Yeah.
All right. So turkey, 6-inch turkey.
Yeah, ours is called a turkey rancher, but it's basically cold cuts. They put bacon on it. Looks good. They still look like good sandwiches. I'm just like, I'm not paying that.
Yeah,
Fuck those guys.
Our turkey sandwich is called a Titan Turkey. 6-inch, $8.38.
Okay. So not that different, really. I mean, 10 Australian dollars and $8 US is probably not that different.
So for the I think this must be our most expensive one at the moment, but the Stampede brisket, and this is for the footlong. It is a brisket worthy of a rodeo. Starts with delicious beef brisket tossed in barbecue sauce. They have green peppers, red onions, and then it's your toppings of choice after that point. And that one is $19.49. It is the footlong.
$19.49. Oh, it's a footlong. Okay, all right.
Yeah. But still,
our most expensive 6-inch is the Turkey Cali Club.
Whew.
California Club. So it's California style, whatever that means. Oven roasted turkey, crisp bacon. What the fuck is this word? Never seen this word before. BELGIOLOSO. Belgiolso?
No.
Fresh mozzarella and smashed avocado.
I will give them a little bit more credit. I scrolled down a little bit farther. Their meatball is $7.49 for the 6-inch. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, we all have meatball, right? That's a good one. What was your 6-inch meatball? We call ours the Boss. It's $9.58.
Yeah, ours is just called a meatball marinara, but it's zesty meatballs with marinara sauce and served with your bread, and yeah.
So you just want I found meatball melts. I think that might be the same.
That flatbread or is that regular?
It's regular, I guess.
Our melts are all flatbreads.
I think you choose the bread, don't you? You just pick whatever bread you want.
We
Not
can't
for
too.
us. Not for us. Some things you can get on bread that you can't get on flatbread and vice versa.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
They just charge us a little extra up here.
I'm just assuming because I thought it was just pick your own bread.
No, that's not how ours is laid out. You have to pick a specific sandwich. You don't have a picking. You can't. What's a la carte? You can't do a la carte on our menus.
Yeah. Maybe it's a franchise or something, because
Maybe.
like sometimes they can get away with, like, I'll charge you an extra 50 cents for an
Or it's just
upgraded bread.
country.
Because one of the few times I've been to Subway, because there's one at the station, I used to sometimes get it on the way home. You would have to specify white bread or
Sure, when you're there.
like, yeah.
Yeah, but online you can't. You have to pick up. I mean, you can pick when you click on the sandwich. They say, okay, these are the options available for the sandwich, but the bread is not an option. The bread you get automatically.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
but what was your price for your meatball sub?
$10.20.
That's perfectly normal because you guys are like 15% more expensive than us because you're talking Australian money as opposed to United States dollars.
Yeah.
So
How much was yours? Sorry.
$9.58.
Oh, okay. Then
Ours comes with more though because we have meatballs and marinara sauce and cheese and pepperoni slices.
Yeah, we don't do that. We just do the meatballs. Yeah. But you can put whatever toppings you want, and if you want,
you can remove it. Yeah, you can remove it, but the price stays the same.
Mine says meatball melt, our signature meatballs enriched tomato marinara sauce.
Wait a minute, I got the wrong sandwich. This thing called the Boss is not the same as a regular meatball sub because I just strolled up and I found a regular meatball sub for $7.18.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we go. And that's just meatballs with Parmesan cheese, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you always get to choose whatever veggie toppings that you want, but
yeah,
I never wanted that much with a meatball sub.
$16 for a sub and a medium Coke. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's been bad. Like I feel for a lot of them because like they don't always get to pick their prices.
No.
Thank you, Cannibalistic Wizard. You got my attention. He was telling me I was looking at the wrong thing on the menu.
Oh, right.
hammer. Okay. You're right. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention to chat while I was looking at the DoorDash menu. Anyway.
But there you go. That makes more sense if it's like $7 for you and $10 for me.
Yeah. Well, I know the difference in numbers because I watch Hardware Unboxed, which is a Canadian computer channel, and they talk about pricing on the market for computer parts. So they're always like, oh yeah, you can buy this for this much US and this much AU. I was like, wow, that's a big difference in price, buddy.
Yeah. I do acknowledge that, like, even in Canada, we do still view Australia as being more expensive. Like a lot of times we're looking at you and going, okay, so where did you go wrong where it happened that you do that?
No, I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly why we're more expensive. We've got far more worker protections. Minimum wage is high. It's impossible to fire anyone. Well, not impossible, but the number of hoops you have to jump through to get it to actually fire someone. Yeah. So, like, all these worker rights means labor is more expensive, and that cost gets passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid doing that. No offense to you, but I was looking at that and going like, I don't think that's necessary at all. Like no.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like we have really strong worker protection rights, which means that you have to pay more to hire someone, which means that everything costs more because they've got to pay more in employees. Payroll. That's the word I was trying to think of.
I have to admit a personal bias here. I think our money is better than your money.
Yes.
Your money is entirely too colorful. I'm sorry.
Okay, listen, that makes it easier to tell the difference, Come
on, man, it's Monopoly money. Cut it out.
Do you know how hard it is to confuse a 50 with a 100 with a 5? You just can't do it up here. On the other hand, I didn't like how much they blinged that out. Yeah. On the other hand, though, I'm not going to talk about my money too much because I'm still holding out. That they don't put Trudeau's face on it, because if they put his face on it, it'll be all black all the time. Kidding.
You guys use Pit My Ride money. I can't handle it. And you still have like the queen on your money. What the hell?
I would rather keep her though. In all honesty,
Oh.
no, I know that sounds anti-Canadian, but lately I've been really disenfranchised with my government entirely. And as much as I don't know Charles, and I've heard many of my British friends curse him up and down, I've kind of looked and been like, you know what? He might not even last for very long. So I'd rather have him than Trudeau.
Look, straight up, I would not be surprised if currency minted after Charles became king. I wouldn't be surprised if it does have his face on it. It's just that there's so much currency that was minted beforehand that it's unlikely that you're going to see a coin that new
anytime soon.
Yeah.
But if it happened, I'm going to be hiding all of that because it'll probably be worth something someday. Because I'm not saying this to be mean to King Charles. I'm just realistic. But if he's had,
I don't think your mortal is really talking that much shit to someone.
I don't think he would care. But in all honesty, like I don't wish cancer on people. I'm actually tired of seeing that shit from both sides. I don't wish cancer on the dude. I wish him well, but like. It's not easier when you're old. It just isn't. So like, you know, I think a lot of people are kind of like, okay, well, we better prepare for just the off chance that he doesn't make it. Cause it's better to enjoy a person while they're still alive, you know, just a little bit.
I guess we just see the monarchy different or coming from a different perspective. You guys still like them.
Oh, I personally don't give a shit.
I honestly don't give a shit so long as they stay out of politics.
Well, this is your personal opinion, but in general, your countries don't have a problem, and at the minimum, don't have a problem with having their faces on your money. So we're not like that. We spent too much time killing them.
Yeah, this is true.
Geez, that sounds brutal.
It's also like to have your face on our money is usually kind of a mark of respect to the person.
Yeah.
And we do have leaders on our money that are from Canada. They were Canadians. We honor them with that. But the Queen, she did stuff. Like she signed a lot of documents that would lead to us being more freed than, you know, it was decolonizing us is what she really did. And she really distanced herself from the position of, if she says something, we don't have to go do it. That's basically what she was saying, you know? So we put her on the money as like, well, yeah, we can respect that.
Just a figurehead. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably wind this up. We are going a bit over
we
time.
Are 8 minutes past 10 o'clock. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, I do that. Sorry.
I did want to say that having the chances that America would ever have a royal on our money would be approximately the same chance of having a royal on French money. Because there would be a riot in the street if they tried to put anybody from the British government on French money. Of course, the French riot when it gets cold outside, so doesn't really matter. But all right, I guess we should probably get out of here because I'm sure Terry's hungry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday's show, remember, Minions are live every evening, including weekends, except for Tuesday. We're all spending our time on Discord. With most shows starting on around 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Hosts and start times are linked down below. Don't forget about the Rumble pre-show. That stream usually starts about half an hour before YouTube. We will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Emotional damage.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.